morning, good evening. Welcome to this week's Fibrific Live Craft and Chat, where we craft and chat live. Now, as you can probably tell by the name of this live stream today, I am stuck on Sleeve Island. If you don't know what Sleeve Island is this mythical place that's not quite so mythical, or fabled place, I don't know, whatever, fabled place where knitters and crocheters get stuck when they're nearly finished a garment, but they just can't get through the sleeves. They need to make the sleeves. And I have a couple of things stuck and stuck on Sleeve Island, and I'm going to use you guys. I'm using you guys today. I'm so sorry. I hate to say it, but I'm being really honest. I'm using you guys to get me off Sleeve Island, at least for one thing. And it's going to be my pink ranunculus. So I was a little late today. Sorry about that. But I realized I had no beverages ready. So I've got tea. Here we go. Look, tea, green. It's in the green cup. It's not green tea. It's just a Twinings Lady Grey. I've got coffee. It's a double shot long black with milk added into the top later. And I also have a full container of water. Andrew can, it's full of water. I would show you, but you might not be able to see. Anyway, it's got here, hang on. Can you see? It's full of water. It's full and fresh, full of fresh water. I just filled it up because that's why I was late to the stream, because I had no beverages. I had craft ready, I had cameras ready, I had lights ready, I had no beverages. Can't stream for 2 hours without a beverage. At least I can't. So let's have a look here in the chat. Good morning to everybody jumping in. We've got Bianca, first cab off the rank as far as I can see here. Let me have a look. Yes, Bianca's first cab off the rank. Hey, Bianca. Knitspin Girls is here. Teresa has made it. Kelly is here. Oh, and she has tea. Go, Kelly. Get that tea going. So and Telco says that good morning from chilly Melbourne. The weather here is weird. It's foggy for everyone around here, right? Like we've still got fog. It's 10 o'clock in the morning here and we're still covered in fog. Let me just check because it doesn't feel super cold. It's 15 degrees. That's cold enough. I did have the heater on in here before the stream started just to try and take the chill out of the air. So yeah. Random question. What's the perfect cup of tea? Milky, sugar, black, really milky, not so milky. Look, I'm a person who likes a really strong cup of tea, but then quite milky at the same time. So I like to brew the tea itself strong, but then I like to add a lot of milk. So I don't know if that's the perfect cup of tea. It's the perfect cup for me, but I don't add sugar either. It's just milky, strong tea. Josephine's going to be here for a bit this morning. Well, awesome, Josephine. We'll see while we see you. And then when we don't, we'll know you're off doing your thing. Holly's in the chat. It's great to see you. Red Hooked is back. It's good to see you. It's been a while, but at the moment, I have nothing but time on my hands. Do you have a project in your hands is the big question. And if so, what is it? Everybody, let me know. What are you currently working on? It doesn't have to be craft because let's be honest, sometimes we have to work on stuff that's not craft. I know, it is shocking. Why do we have to do things that aren't craft? Why can't we just craft all day, every day and still keep food in the fridge, rent a roof over our head and yarn in the cupboard? Like why can't we just have everything? Honestly. Kelly says milky is the only way. Sleeve Island. Yeah, I'm stuck here. I am stuck on Sleeve Island. So yeah. Bianca says I'm too much of a completionist to get stuck on Sleeve Island. That was something I wanted to talk to you about, especially Bianca, because Bianca knocks out garments like one a week for herself in fine yarn, right? Probably not one a week. We joke about that it's one a week. Oh, look, she's nearly finished a shirt. She must have started it yesterday. Because we're terrible friends is what it is. Anyway, Bianca just keeps going and doesn't stop. Whereas I'm like, yeah, bored now, starting something else. Because I'm not a project crafter. I am a oh my gosh, my brain just totally just, I like to learn the new thing. I like to learn the skill. I don't necessarily need to finish the product. There's a word for it. My stupid perimenopause brain, which has been driving me insane the last couple of weeks. Anyway, whatever that is. I'm the not project worker. Whereas Bianca, process, Josephine, thank you. Josephine to the I'm a process crafter rather than a project crafter. So I like to learn the process. I like to see where I'm going, what it's doing, and be like, cool, that's great. And then just put it down and work on the next thing. Kelly's in with the process as well. Thank you guys. You guys are champions. My brain was not being my friend. Kelly says, sounds like you can make a tea for me anytime. Thanks. You're more than welcome to come over for tea whenever you want. Knitspin Girl says, no fog here, but that's the weird warm orb. But there's this weird warm orb thing in the sky. It's been raining pretty solidly for weeks. Yeah, I think you stole our sun. We don't have the sun. The sun is gone. It is currently grey and foggy here. I'm actually not complaining about it. It's nice to have some proper wintry kind of feeling weather. Bianca says, strong, sweet and black tea for her. Awesome. Holly says she's working on a knitted marker bag that's supposed to be a gift. What do you mean by supposed to be a gift? Is it not going to be a gift? Or is it, or is it not going to be finished in time to be the gift? Like, we need more. We need more. Holly's jumped in with process as well. Absolutely. Amelia says, 2 at a time sleeves is my new thing. It's like 2 at a time socks. Yeah, look, I like the idea of 2 at a time sleeves, so I kind of do a variation of it. But the problem I have with doing them on the one circular means I've got to take it off, like take one of the sleeves off that circular to try it on to work out, yeah, am I happy with that? No. Because I can't just like measure it and go, yep, I need another 4-inch. Like I can get a rough eyeball, but there's a point where I want to try it on and make sure I'm happy with the length. So, yeah. Project versus process. So interesting how people differ. I know. And look, you know what? Neither of them's wrong. Except for when you're a process knitter and you want to finish something and you really have to just fight yourself to do it. So yeah, it's just definitely one of those things. I'm going to drink a bit more coffee. So and Tell is jumping in the chat here today. She's going to be using us as well, I believe, to be a bit of a, background noise while she's doing a task that I set her yesterday, which I don't think she's happy about, let's be honest. Reducing some website images sizes down. So yeah, it's is it my big question, so and I'm sorry just to put this out there on a public live stream. Do you think it's worth the effort? Like that's the big thing. Like, are you noticing a difference in the load times in your pages by reducing the file sizes? Like, that's the thing. Kelly says, hell yes, 2 at a time whenever I can. Josephine says, slide the sleeve onto the barber cord. Absolutely. That is definitely a way to do it, but then you've got to slide it back off again. And did I mention that any kind of deterrent just slows me right down? I'm like, no, I'll do that later. And then it sits on Sleeve Island because I've just got to do this thing that will take literally 1 minute. And I'm just like, no. So I do things slightly differently for 2 at a time, and I'll show you that. And I think I've shown it before, but I'll show it again very shortly. I just want to chin wag a little bit and drink some more of my coffee because this is only my first coffee today, and I need it. Helps if you open it. I'm just saying. Bianca says that she's still working on her brioche shawl. That shawl, I saw it the other night and it's stunning. It's so worth the work. It is so worth it. A Knitspin Girl says, I'm working on blankets, 1 crocheted and 1 scrappy knitted. Speaking of scrappy projects, you remember how I wanted to do that, the fringed shawl, but I was going to do it with like all of my, with my super cute, ends of balls and stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's going to work out the way I want it to work because some of the pieces are quite short or they're too long, and I've got to test it out. Excuse me, sorry, because it's not like it's just a little bit and then fringe it. You actually have to knit the whole square in. It's like you're sort of knitting it in the round nearly, and I'm just not sure if the meterage is going to work for that, like all the different bits of meterages. Holly says, amazingly, I started far enough out that it shouldn't be a problem finishing by 7th of August. I always get thrown by the American dates. I'm sorry. I had to make 2 and I finished the first one last week. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad. So Until says, I do think it's worth the effort, relief, and I want to hyper focus on doing it all at once and do it well, but it's also busy work and it won't make me money, and money is dwindling. So I would look at it this way, just to throw my 2 cents worth in, because if you've been here before, you know I've definitely got a little pile of 2 cents just to throw everywhere. It will cost you money if you don't do it. So that's how I see it. Is down the track when you do when you launch this product, it's if you make it so the pages take forever to load, people are just going to bounce off. So it will actually cost you money. So while it's not actually bringing income in right this second, it will actually be the big fat stop sign that'll stop some people from buying your products down the track. That's how I see it. And you probably do too, which is why you're focusing on it. Red Hook says, yes, Bonnie Bay's crochet my wild Irish throw. She does beautiful cable throws. I'm going to have to go and have a look at that because I love is that a crochet cable? Because I'm a big fan of crochet cables. I actually ran a workshop a couple of different times making crochet cable samplers, and I had such the best time teaching them, and that was so fun. And I love a good crochet cable. Bianca says, I've started doing 2 at a time sleeves. Fantastic. Francis is jumping in, and Molly is here. Amelia says, you got this. We know you can. Thank you. I am going to certainly try. So I'm just going to have one more sip of my coffee. Then we're going to drop to the hands down. I'm going to show you where I'm up to and what I'm doing and what I mean by a slight variation on the 2 at a time sleeves. So yeah. I might move my cups over to where my water bottle is just in caseies. Just in caseies. Look at this pretty array of colours that I've got right here. Very nice. Do you know what would be really nice? If I could get a sponsorship from Yeti. But as I'm not an outdoors channel, that's never going to happen because they brand themselves to the outdoorsy people. If you go and look at every single photo on their website, it's all about being in rivers and forests and bear hunting or something. It's never about crafters who forget about their cup of tea and then remember it and take a sip and go, oh, good, still hot. Yeah, I think they're missing out. They're missing out on the market here. Alrighty, let's go down here. We'll bring this in. We'll push you out. Okay, this is where I'm up to. So I have done some work on it, okay? Oh, look, there's an extra pair of scissors. Score! I have done some work on it. It's not that nothing's been done. I have done some. And so basically what I do, instead of the traditional 2 at a time, which is like 2 at a time socks, both sleeves on one needle. Man, I don't even know how this got all tangled up. I was literally working on it the other day. Hang on. Shh, don't judge me. I feel it. I feel the judgment coming through. Alrighty. Sometimes I think a nice lazy Susan under your project so that you can spin it a little bit without having to do anything too crazy. Okay, so what I do instead of the stock standard 2 at a time, which is the instead of the everything on one cable and just keep going, which is the optimum, I will say it definitely works and it is definitely awesome. But because of the kind of person that I am, sorry, I just got so Chantel had a slight heart attack. At how big, slight heart attack is an understatement. But anyway, at how big some of the images on my website were when we were chatting yesterday, she made me update 2 on the spot before she let me go. I did. Yeah. I'm like, I want to see what difference it makes if you just fix these 2. I got off and my husband was like, who is that? I hope she's a friend, because if she was going to be a client, she's gone. Just like, oh, because yeah. And Bianca says, yes, I agree. Your website has to be easily and quickly accessible. Yeah. Francis, I agree with you. Every crafter I know has a Yeti or something like a Yeti, because we get sucked into what we're doing, and then we reach for our cuppa and then it's like, oh, that's cold. And then you go and make another one, which you then also promptly forget about. By the time you spend the money on the amount of tea, coffee, milk, sugar, whatever it is that you put in that cup that you're trying to keep hot, and keep tipping it down the sink because it's cold. Like, I'll drink cold coffee, let's be honest, but I don't drink cold tea. I have a line. It's a very blurry line, but I have a line. Anyway. Oh, you loved it. Okay. We can be honest with each other. Absolutely. Because what's the point if we're not? Honestly, I'd be like, oh yeah, that looks so good. I just feel like Gemini or ChatGPT or one of them. Oh yeah, that's so great. You're so right. No, we can get that all from the AI. We need people to go, actually, you know what? That's a bit crap and you need to fix it. And let's fix it. How do we fix it? Yes, we would use the ChatGPT and the Gemini to be like, how do we fix this? But then we go in and fix it. So yeah. Oh, Molly says, because I'm running late, I like to do 2 at a time sleeves. I join large cables together, and then when I need to try it on, just disconnect the cables and then read. Oh, Molly, I think you've just solved it. I have a cable connector. Look at this. I just happen to have the cable connector right here. Molly. Oh, now I'm going to feel like I'm put on the spot to try and sort these onto the cables correctly, because this is gold. This is gold, because then you don't have to mess around with like putting it onto barber cord or knit saver or whatever. You just literally disconnect the connector, move some tips around. You need some extra. Yeah, well, yeah, you're not going to knit on it. You don't even need to move the tips around. You just need to throw on like a little thing so that it doesn't come undone, or make sure they're long enough so that you can try it on. Molly, with you and this little piece of metal here, may just save the day, because do you know what? I'm actually not enjoying these as much as these. And I realized last week that one sleeve was longer than the other because I kept going round and round with my stainless steels. And then so I had to do a count, and I was like 3 rows short on the carbons, which look, the carbons are nice. Oh, I've just realized that the carbons numbers are wearing off. Well, that's crappy. The carbons are nice. These are the Knit Pro carbons. They're nice enough, but they're not the full stainless steel with a nice long tapered tip. But these are nice, but then these are also not ChowGoo cable tips. And then they're also not ChowGoo quads, which are now my new favorites, but I don't have a 6mm in the quads. I've got to order it. But also I do like the bendy cable, which is when I'm magic looping, I want a bendy cable. The ChowGoo red cable, not so bendy for magic looping, I don't think. Like, it's fine and you can do it. And I've done it, and plenty of people have done it, and lots of people do it even without complaining. Not me, but other people. But if I'm going to be magic looping, I prefer a more flexible cord. And that's something where I wish ChowGoo would just release the blue cord in all the cable lengths. Just release the blue cable that you've already designed into longer lengths. That's it. That's all I want. Am I asking for a lot? Apparently I'm asking for a lot. The flexible cable in the there, I just happen to have this one here. Look, I'd even take this one without this crappy swivel adapter, like not their new swivel adapter, which is awesome, but these are the Swiv 360 cables. This swivel adapter here on the Swiv 360 cables, awful. I hate it. I don't like it. Some people are fine with it. Me, not so much. Use this cable. You've got lots of them. Use this cable and then stick on a standard end onto this cable. And then we can use our little swivel adapters, which I love and I need to order more of. So when I'm ordering my 5.5 and 6 mil in the quads. I'm also going to order another couple of sets of the super duper U-Butte swivels. But yeah, like this cable's fine. I'd take this for magic looping. The blue is still superior to this, in my opinion, but I would take this. This would be just fine. I just don't want it to be this cable, okay? So yeah, let's have a look here. Yeah, see, Kelly, I would need a lot of cable to do that particular thing. Kelly's suggesting here that you just make the cable like super, super, super long so that you can actually try the sweater on, put the sleeves on, and you've got the cables holding the sleeves on. I would need it to be so long to get it on that it would sort of defeat the purpose. I really love this sort of finer, and my brain just quit me. It's gone now. Oh, okay, so the Bonnie is crochet cables. That is awesome. Okay, I'm going to be checking out, who is it? Let me go back. Bonnie, I got to write it down. So it's Bonnie Bay's Crochet. I could just go to Ravelry, right? We could just go to Ravelry right now. Yes, we can. Ravelry. I'll log in and then I'll share the screen. My brain's not working. My stutter's kicking in. Yay. Alrighty, let's go to screen share here. Okay, so we would like to go to patterns. And we would like, I've got crochet already checked here. So I'm going to go with Bonnie Bay Crochet. Search. Oh, wow. Very nice. Look at the Irishman poncho here. That's gorgeous. That is so nice. Let me look at the white. It's Aaron Templar. So that's lovely. That's so nice. What else have we got? There's so much nice stuff. Like, let's be honest. Which is the thing you're working on? Let me just go back to the comments here. You're currently working on the Bonnie Bay My Wild Irish Throw. So where is that? I want to see that. Is it a Celtic Mandela? I mean, the Celtic Mandela throw here is gorgeous as well. Look at that. That's so beautiful. I love it when something just really just works in a single color and you don't need like 11 billion colors to make it work. Like, not that I don't like to work with lots of colors, but sometimes you do just want that plain color and let the texture do all the talking. This is a prime example of that working successfully. Honestly, that is just beautiful. Let me look here. Breezy, sampler. These are just stunning. These are just so beautiful. Look, I like to the look. I don't want to forget about this, so I'm going to save it in my favorites and add it to my blanket shortlist. That's going in there straight away. I'm not a big poncho wearer, although if I was going to wear one, it would probably be something like this. I'll give that one a heart, but it won't go onto my exact list. But so it's just in my favorites, but that is lovely as well. Now I'm looking because I probably just missed it. Boxed honeycombs, the granny ripple. I love a good granny ripple, honestly. Look at this one here. So that's it done in the single color, which is divine. But check it out in this multicolor here that someone's done it in. That is just gorgeous. That is gorgeous. I love that a lot. And that would be so that's a lace weight 2-ply. Is that held together? It's got to be held together, right? Because it's quite chunky. Yeah, well, yeah, lace 2-ply and a 4mm hook. That's got to at least be two held together. Let's have a look at the patterns. Who's made this project? 17 people have made it. Let's have a look at what they're doing. They used DK and turned it into a blanket. That's really nice. Look at this. This is a going out blanket. This is legit a going out blanket. They did it in worsted weight. Yeah, I don't know. So this one, what did they do? They did it in Karen cake, so DK weight. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. It must be 2 plies held together. It must be like this merino lace singles, and they must be held together, because otherwise you would not be using a 4 and a 5 mil hook on a 2 ply. Is my logic sound, everybody? Let me know in the chat. But yes, I was about to jump away, but I still haven't found the blanket that you're making. Are you doing like a test or something and it's not here yet? Is that what's going on? Or am I just blind, which is legit? Am I just blind and missing it? This one's super cute though. Let me have a look here. Super cute, super cute. Yeah, that's lovely. I like that one a lot. That one's, and I wouldn't get bored because look at all those little processes. I do a bit of this and then I do a bit of that and I do a bit of this and I do a bit of that. That would be great. That one's like such a good one. Save in favorites and in my blanket shortlist. Boom. Yeah, that is gorgeous. That is gorgeous, but that's not what I'm working on today. I do not need to start a new crochet project. Even if it's crochet cables, and I currently have no crochet cable project going right now. That's not what we're doing. Okay, so because I'm live here and because my brain hurts, this is the front of my sweater and this is my first side. So this is the first side I knit first because I remember it, because I do my stainless steel first and then I go and do my this one. So, and if one of them's not in the middle or not quite finished a row, because if I've got to stop, I actually finish a couple of stitches before the end of the row so that I know that that I need to do this side first instead. So this is my first side. So basically what I'm trying to get at, all right, is how do I set this up? So because I want to do Molly's thing. I want to do Molly's thing so I can just use these tips because I will knit faster. And I'll get off Sleeve Island faster, won't I? Please tell me that's how this is going to work. Okay. Because usually the end of the row is over here, the outside edge, but for whatever reason, it's on the inside edge here. So I need to change. Do I need to change anything? Oh my gosh. Maybe I should just keep going with how I'm doing it rather than trying to do something different, even if it will save me time down the track. Don't listen to me what I'm saying here, Megan, because, you know, this is me doing the exact opposite of what I told you to do. So, because I know I need to get on, like, so basically, so that the yarns are both on the left-hand side or both on the right-hand side when I've finished a round, not both in the middle, which is where they would be here right now. I've already started doing some decreasing. So even if I move to the outside, keep the start round under the armpits. Okay, well, that's where the start round is. Okay. So what do I do next, Kelly, to get it all onto the one? Or do I just kind of, hang on, we'll twist it up. Under the armpits, there we go. So we have armpit 1 and armpit 2. Okay, so this is how it's usually going. Oh, okay, I'm actually in the middle of a round on this side, so I do need to just get back to the stitch marker here. So just bear with while I do that. And then, oops, Tim has sent me something and I just need to see if it's an important thing, because he probably wouldn't send it through the day if it was not. No, it's not important. What it is he's skiting. He's skiting that his desk gets sunlight and mine doesn't. That's all he's doing. All right, so let me just get this one lined up into the correct position, and then I'm going to follow Kelly's instructions there. Because right now, I'm on the outside edge, so I will get to the correct spot here. Let me just, there we go, get everything under the cameras. Alrighty. I'm probably making it harder for myself in my brain than it needs to be. It's probably going to be like, oh, you just do this, boom, done. And it's totally not an issue. So let me just get these guys up to so they're both at the start of their rounds. And then we can go from there. I love this idea of Molly so much. I want to get it in place so that I can just do it and go forward with it. Alrighty. And I normally just go one stitch over just so that my stitch marker stays. Yeah, I'm not sure if Molly's still here. So basically, there's the middle now. That's the underarm there. So that's the middle. They're both, this is the problem I think I'm having. They're both facing to the middle. Because they're underarms and they face each other, right? So then I basically need to disconnect. I need to disconnect these tips so that it's just a cable. Do I need two cable adapters? Is that the issue here? No, I don't need two. No, okay. I know what I've got to do. It's fine. Where's the needle? Where's the pin? Come on. Where are your pins? I keep you handy here just specifically for this reason. Okay. So you disconnect there. This is and then you connect here. All right. Is that on? Yep, that's on. Okay, so you're goodbye. And then that gets connected to the back of that one. Okay. And if I had to do some realigning of the occasional row here and there, it's not going to matter that much. It's just one row. And yarn, stitches, stretching, what have you, is going to solve that. So that's my connector section. Then I've got my front needles. And this one needs to come off. And get replaced with this one. You know what really helps? If you don't try and put the needle on your knitting needle onto your pin. It's got to go onto the thread because that's stupid otherwise. Okay. Let's have a look here. Magic Loop is not good with thicker chow. Oh, no, everything just bounced and moved. Good job. Molly's still here. Awesome. Let me just jump back to the stream chat over here and just see if the delay is YouTube or me. So Molly's here. Game Winners saying good morning. All right. Yeah, no, I'll definitely leave in the stitch marker so that I can keep track. Molly, did I do it right is the question. So now I have at the back, so the cable connector I put on the back side of the needles, and then I've got the 2 needles on the front side. Now, unfortunately, this does mean I will be knitting this sleeve again, but that's okay, because as I said, it's one, and I probably should have just left it where it was. But that's okay. I will just make sure I knit an extra one on this side before I finish off. But I think that's it. I think we've done it. I think we've done it. And I think I've got my yarn wrapped around. Good job, me. Good job, me. Okay. I think this is it. Where's this ball of yarn? I need this one because I've got a... Oh my gosh, what is going on here? I need this ball of yarn. What is it connected to? This one here. So you get off and get out of my way because you are in the wrong spot. You need to come over so that that can start knitting there. That one's in the right spot, and then this is the one that I cut off the body when the body finished. I have so much of this yarn left. Molly says, looks good, just replace your markers. So I've still got the markers on the initial beginnings of the round. So am I supposed to move those? Because I feel that if I do, I'm not going to be able to keep track of them, because so they're both sort of there and there. Let's have a look here. Back to the web question, do I want to create an image description for every single one, or does that add data, weight, size to it? It's negligible. I would, if you can, I would. Because the those of your audience that are vision impaired, their software reads the image description to them, and if you don't have it, it just says there's an image with no description. So they don't know what it is. Now, I don't know if you've got many in the way of image impaired in your audience, but it's your call. But yeah, but space wise, it's just big text. It's nothing. It's no weight. You're fine. Let's have a... Oh yeah, Bianca's already jumped in. Yep. I'm not sure if Bonnie sells her patterns on Ravelry. She sells them on Etsy and Lovecrafts. Oh, okay, because she definitely has some up on Ravelry. I'll have to have a look. I don't buy anything off Etsy anymore. They do not protect their purchases from AI, so I don't buy any patterns from Etsy. But I'll look at Lovecrafts. I haven't got an opinion on Lovecrafts, but I pretty much only buy patterns from Ravelry when it comes to knitting and sewing patterns. Oh no, keep them where they are. Okay. Oh, I try to put in the alternate text, but don't always do the description. Okay, so double check which one is more important for the readers, and then go with whichever one that one is. Which one do I do? I can't remember which one I do now. I know I definitely do one of them, but not both of them. So definitely not both. All right. I think we're ready to rock and rumble. I've got one more round, and then I've got to do some decreasing. And then I'm just decreasing. I don't want to decrease a ton of stitches, but it's quite like, you know, I don't mind it being like this, because I'm going to be doing an I-cord wrist, so it'll bring it up, but I don't want it to be like down, you know, all the way, you know, at another 3 inches. So I'm just pulling out, a few sort of stitches, like maybe 5, and I've done 2 already. I've done 2 lots of 2, so 4. So maybe I want 10. I'm thinking 5 rounds of decreases. I'm doing 2 decreases on each round. Why are you not being good? Because you have to open it up properly. I'm so used to using the cups now, I've gotten out of the habit of the hot shots. Okay, making sure I'm using the correct yarn for the correct sleeve, because we don't want any little yarn bridges. That is bad. So wait a second. Oh, we're up to another decrease round now. Should have done it the previous row. Okay. Oh, so much nicer just to use these needles, honestly. Claude says alt test. Oh, and I would double check with like, does Claude give links of information? I would just double check with an accessibility site and then go with that. Double check Claude, double check all the AIs, never actually believe them, but they often give me a place to start my research. Yeah. Feels good to be knitting again, honestly. So right now I've got this sleeve island project. I've got my cool stripy top sleeve island project. I've got a crochet, my Tunisian crochet cardigan, which I'm actually thinking I'm going to frog. Honestly, I don't think I pulled it on to have a look about it. And I was like, this isn't going to fit. I literally have not made it the right size for me. So I'm either going to continue on with it and have to gift it, or I can just pull it out, start again in the correct size, make it big enough, and go from there. I've got well enough yarn to make a bigger size. That's not an issue. It's just a case of man, I really do need a Lazy Susan under this, don't I? Is that beyond ridiculous to stick a Lazy Susan under your cardigan so that it can just swivel while you work on it? Like, am I just being precious now? I'm being precious, right? I'm okay with it. I just need to clarify it. Like, where can I, like Amazon, when can you deliver me a Lazy Susan? It doesn't need to be an expensive one or hold any amount of weight. It does, however, need to be able to swivel backwards and forwards. Oh yeah, the AI hallucinations are just insane. Just makes up crap randomly. You've got to double check it. Amazon. I'm actually just going to have a quick look. Just a quick look here. Go to Amazon. Oh, do you know what I watched last night? I watched Masters of the Universe. The new He-Man movie. If you need a laugh, go and watch it. They did Skeletor really well, like with the quippy one-liners and stuff like that. It was good. It was definitely a trip down memory lane, and it was a bit different than I expected. But yeah, it was just Lazy Susan turntable. Okay, let's have a look here. I can pick up a pretty bamboo one for like $15. Or two crappy plastic ones for $22. I think I'd like the wood one would be better. Or for $28, you can get this one, which has got walls. I wonder if the walls spin. If the walls spin, then oh, here we go. There's a video. Okay. The walls on it spin. I'm going to get that one because then the sweater's not just going to fall off the sides. I've got a lazy sleeping cat under my shawl. My lazy sleeping cat is sitting out in the sunny spot. No, so my office here, I've got blackened off. I've actually got coverings on the windows, so I could have windows. The problem being that when I'm doing stuff like this, I want it darker, or when the room's really hot, I want the light gone. But I don't want to have the sun all the time, right? So, and normal curtains are not dark enough. So I'm thinking about getting some blackout blinds, but the problem is accessing a blind controller. or like, you know, the strings to pull the blinds up and down or to open and close them or whatever. I don't have anywhere near the end of the window that I can get to because my desk is in front on this side and my table is in front on that side. So, yeah, it's just frustrating. I've got to work out a solution where I can easily have sun or no sun in here. I don't currently have an easy solution of none of sun or no sun. And so I just leave it closed up. Okay. Now it's time to come over to the other side. That cable, I was a bit worried about that because these cable connectors are quite large. I was a bit worried about how it would go through the knitting. No problems at all. Okay, let's knit the next bit. I thought that was a good idea recently. Kmart has a Lazy Susan. What's Kmart Lazy Susan price like? We've got a Kmart not too far away from us. Especially if I want to be making more of these like larger garments. Like if I wasn't going to be making more of the $7, all right, I'm going to Kmart. But yeah, if I wasn't planning on making more garments with sleeves and stuff, I probably wouldn't worry about it, or more large like shirts and stuff like that. But it's just so useful. And I've got somewhere I could pop it when I'm not using it. Bianca says changing light levels would be painful for streaming, etc., which is why I keep it all blacked out. But I only stream in here 2 days a week. And then I've got to work in here 5 or 6 days a week. And so, you know, out of all that time, I stream for maybe 4 or 5 hours during daylight hours maximum. So I've got all the rest of sunlight hours where I have this room blacked out. So I've got to find a solution that's not too expensive, that does what I need it to do. Right now, the coverings that I'm using also act as a little bit of sound treatment. I don't know if I really need it or not, but I've got it. So, because basically what I've done is I went and I purchased moving blankets from Bunnings. And I added grommets into the top of them and using bungee cord, connect them to some cup hooks that I've screwed into the tops of the walls. So they look amazing. Luckily, we own the house and I can kind of do whatever I want in here, and I did. Knitspin Girl says, I've seen electric curtain openers and closers you use a remote for and recharge via solar panels. No idea where you would get them from or how much. Yeah. And I would have to move everything out of the way of the window while they were being installed is the other problem. The solar idea I love because I've got 2 massive big panes of glass. You could just stick the solar thing right there. Yeah. I've seen the electric curtain openers. I don't want curtains. It'll be up and down blinds. Curtains, I just don't have any luck with getting decent quality blackout curtains that literally black out every bit of light. That I can also wash. So, and because curtains blow around and they get dusty, I like to wash them. Whereas blinds tend to be made out of other stuff. And you can just hit them with either the vacuum or a can of air and move the dust off them. I don't know why I feel like I need to, but the curtains also, the cheaper blackout curtains also leave film of this dust stuff everywhere, which is why we've been replacing the curtains around the rest of our house because we had blackout curtains. I say blackout curtains around the rest of the house. And they couldn't go in the washing machine. And then B, they've slowly deteriorated in the sun of all places. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is so much faster. I'm like finished. Oh, finished the sleeves. Forgot to do the decreases. So I'm going to go around this round and not do a decrease here because I did one there, but I didn't do one anywhere else. So I'm going to go around and do the decrease. I'm not going to frog it. I'm going to go and do the decreases in all the other places. Okay. Make sure I've got the right yarn. Don't decrease here, but decrease everywhere else. Yarn, where are you? You're going to come under here. There we go. Alrighty. I got too excited about it. I should have probably just done the decrease round and then set everything up. But I didn't because I'm a Greenberry. I was just too excited. Okay. Let me just double check my stream health here. Stream is healthy. Excellent. Sometimes when the chat doesn't chat, I know you guys are just busy and you're doing stuff at the same time, and I get that. But sometimes when the chat doesn't move, I get a bit paranoid that it's broken. Like, oh no, we've dropped out again. Oh no, this is awful. And you know, it's not the case usually. I understand that, but on the rare occasion it has been the case. You're all researching curtains for me, aren't you? That's really what's going on here. Curtains and blinds. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I definitely need to do something because it's very hard to work in here in winter because it's so cold in here. Because I do keep it all locked down so no sun comes in. Actually, I tell like there's a little square down here that I haven't moved the curtain over enough from the last time I opened it up. I can just see a little bit of light coming through the curtain, so that the moving blanket's pushed to the side, but the curtain's still closed. Francis says, I'm not even crafting today, so I should be chatting more. But we got a new kitten last week, and she's a major cutie patootie. Have you shared a photo in the Discord and I just missed it? I'm just asking. Her name is Toast. Is she black or is she ginger? Or am I totally off the mark about why you've called her Toast? I have a soft spot in my heart for ginger kitties. All right, we're coming up to the end of the sleeve. Do the decrease. Do the decrease. Do the decrease. Black with tortoiseshell. Oh, there we go. Excellent. That she'll be beautiful. And yes, I see Toast now. There we go. Got 3 to the end. Knit 2 together. Knit 1. Okay. Okay, so we've got 1 on that side, so we just knit 2 together straight up. Make sure I've got the correct yarn. Where is that yarn? It's all... Okay. How often do you do? I'm just decreasing every 4 rows, but it was more of a case of I just literally forgot that I needed a decrease. That's all, because I was so focused on getting this done. But it's cool. It's all right. Oh, I need to decrease. Yeah, no, it was just because I got so overexcited. Oh, bye. Bye, Francis. Have an awesome day. Yeah, so yeah, no, it was on me. I normally have a notepad, and I've left my notepad in the lounge room, so I've got another notepad here. I can just do it here. Um, I just need to remember to do it. And it's like it's not going to matter too much if the sleeve decreases are out by 1 row. As long as they're the same width sleeves, really, that's all that matters. And I didn't start the decreases until nearly at my elbows, so it's not like it's going to pull in weirdly in my bigger areas. So hold on to your hat. I have uploaded a video on here that's 64 megabytes. Well, I would be, for a start, hosting that over on Vimeo. Not Vimeo, Livid. Definitely not Vimeo. Go over on Livid and then embedding it to your website. So your website doesn't have to host, I don't know, anything. Oh my Lord. Oh. Gosh, I'm just like, what the heck? But I bet you didn't even realize it was there. And now you do. And now you can fix it. And it's all good. Sorry, I just realized it's all just spinning around. Coming around to the other side. I'm just reminding myself. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I can't imagine you would have yeah, get pretty sure it's already on Livid. How are you finding Livid, out of curiosity? For those that don't know, Bending Spoons, and you all know how much I love Bending Spoons, they bought Vimeo and then pulled their stock standard crap that they pull on everybody else over at Vimeo. And then people needed to find somewhere else to go. And this amazing company called Livid came on the scene. And not only are they competing in every way with Vimeo, they also built a tool that made it so you could actually just transfer your videos quite easily for the most part. Like, obviously, there might be some legacy stuff that's problematic, but for the most part, people are able to just do one-click transfers, and it brings over everything, including relinking it to your websites and stuff like that. So, you've migrated it all, but that's it. No, fair enough. Sometimes just getting it off the other platforms enough. Okay. I have this horrible thought that I didn't decrease that last stitch. Did I decrease it? I didn't. Oh, wait. It's over here. I did decrease it. It's all good. Trust in yourself, Chantel. You're not a total potato. Not a total potato. Bing. Alrighty. Bring this yarn to where we need it. You're not wrapped around the needle or anything, are you? Nope. Good. Okay. Crochet with Claire is in the house. Good to see you, Claire. Good to see you. Oh, those of you that are on the expressions of interest waiting list for retreat, I should have some news in the next day or two, so please keep an eye on your inboxes. I had a chat with the team, and they're just looking to send over confirmation of my deposit. So they're finding that they're double checking they've received it, which it's out of my bank account. So I'm really hoping they have it. And then just waiting till they just confirm that they've received it. And then I will be making the tickets live. So if you are in the expressions of interest list and you want to buy your ticket, you need to start preparing yourself now. Unless you're already prepared, because I couldn't stop myself from talking about it before I was quite ready. But you need to go in and you need to decide whether you want to pay via direct deposit, full amount, or in payment plans, or via complete payment via PayPal or in payment plans. And you can choose from either of those options. The payment plans is the deposit of 20%, which I think is about $104, because the camp is $520, and then 10% a month for the next 8 months. So Emma's already starting to work out her flights to come along, so that is good. And then those of us that are also going to Stacey's retreat up in the mountains in August, that's coming up close. I'll be sending out an email really soon, just confirming all the bits and bobs, packing lists, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be out in the next sort of week or so that you can have that handy to your packing list and all that sort of stuff. So yes. Okay, so this is we've done row 1 of not increasing. I'm flying along now. Molly, thank you so much for suggesting just adding the cable connector rather than just using the long cable. That's just going to make life so much different now. I'm just going to be able to just easily try on this instead of having to slip a whole pile of stitches over to another one, or working with the 2 separate sets of tips, which was doing my head in a little bit, I'll be honest, because I do normally, like when I'm doing socks, I do 2 at a time, but you normally have to try one of the socks on. You don't normally try both on at the same time. Game Widows is all ready for August. She's booked the car. She's got her flights sorted. Now she's just got to sort out what she's bringing. Well, you know what you need? Okay. There we go. Making sure I don't have a yarn bridge. I always, like every row or so, I just double check, just have a quick look, make sure I haven't accidentally grabbed the wrong yarn to do the other sleeve or thing on, because I just don't want to mess it up. Molly says, "You're welcome. I'm the queen of shortcuts to seem to work." Look, I joke about how, like, stuff with my boss, I'm like, I'm doing it this way because I'm lazy. And he pointed out that just because you're doing something that saves time and is more efficient doesn't make you slack or lazy or a cheat. It makes you clever, because you have developed a method that gets the same that gets the outcome required with a different level of work. And I was just like, okay, I will try and remember that. It is only 3 weeks to retreat, Claire. You are 100% right. And Tim and Abby are off on their, hopefully, snow adventures if some more snow gets dumped before they head down there. They leave here on the 1st of August for a week. So I'll have a whole week here where I can just pull things apart and get things ready for a retreat. Like, I'll just be able to cover the dining table in the gift bags and pack all the gift bags and stuff like that. So, you know, those sorts of things. Again, what it says, craft-wise, what I'm bringing, I've got some Bendigo purchases, a Efficiency is not laziness. Agreed. Yeah. Look, I also agree in my brain, but for some reason I feel like I need to jokingly say, oh, I did it this way because I'm lazy. And maybe it's just a self-deprecation thing that I do when I'm working with people. I don't know. Work smarter, not harder. Absolutely. I agree with that statement so much. I'm also like, when you're doing things where you've got to like physically move things around, I'm that person that's like, why are we touching this thing 3 different times to move it from here to here? Why don't we just move it from there to there? And it's like, oh, because I want to, also bring that over to there. And so if I just bring it over here and then do that and then bring it over, it's like, no, but that takes so much more time. And you've touched it multiple times then. Why not just literally move it in one go, then come back and do the other thing and then move all that in one go? But yeah, it's hard to describe what it is that being too specific, which I can't be. One example, I just thought of an example I can share, is when people are emptying the dishwasher, right? Some people either pick up the cutlery container, like the cutlery basket that all your stuff for the dishwasher goes into. They'll either pick that up and put it on the bench and then empty the items into the drawer. Or what I do is I pick it up, open the drawer and empty it directly into the drawer rather than going on the bench, pulling out all the forks and then putting them in the drawer and on the bench. I can pull out all the forks with one hand. I don't need to put it on the bench to do it and then go backwards and forwards. I just hold the basket next to it, fork, pull out all the forks and then drop them in the forks. So, yeah. I spent the weekend explaining row counters, saying I need all the help I can. No shame in tools. I agree. There's no shame in tools. Just like stitch markers, like these people that are like, oh, you don't need stitch markers to be able to work out where you're up to in lace. You just have to learn how to read your knitting. Cool. What did I do there? Something gave. What gave? Felt it spring. All right, let me have a feel. Let me see. Flip it. Three. Let's have a look here. So we've done one row, and that is okay. 2. All right. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it felt like something sprung in my hand. But it's fine. I've moved all the yarn around again. Oh, don't have your tips too close to the end because you've got to pick up and work out where the yarn is. That one's to there. That one's to here. All right, I'm good. I'm good again. I just get lost sometimes. That's all. Bianca says, excuse me. Game Winner says, no basket in our dishwasher. It has a tray, so I sort the cutlery when I load. Yeah. Bianca says, excuse me, you do you just because you don't need stitch markers or row counters. Yeah. Molly says, I'm with you, Kelly. I hate wasting time. I just get frustrated and that annoys me. So I try to think of solutions, probably a hangover from working as an IT analyst consultant. Yeah, so I just didn't think about using the joiner. Like, because so I had that I was stuck between the two different ideas, and I didn't consider that there was a way to join them into one idea. And now I'm glad that I have such amazing people like you guys all around, because I in no way profess or proclaim to be the keeper of all of the answers. I've got plenty of answers. I've got plenty of opinions. I do not have all of either, and I don't profess to. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are here to help me get off Sleeve Island. Get off the island. I think I still need like another 3 inches or so of length in the sleeves. I do want the sleeves to not be like full length. So this guy here, that's a full length sleeve. Well, actually, he's technically a 7/8 length sleeve, which sits on me as a full length sleeve. So that's what I mean by I don't want a full length sleeve. Full length sleeves sit here on my hands, and I don't want this to do that. I want this to be at the wrist with a I-cord cuff so that I can push it up, and the I-cord holds onto my flabby arm and keeps it up and out of the way if I want it up and out of the way. So yeah, because I've got little short arms, I don't buy full length sleeves because they fall over my hands, and I don't like things over my hands, except for gloves. Although I did see this very cool thing that I'm seriously contemplating purchasing, which is basically, it's a mouse bag. It's a mouse bag. So what you do is you make this big sort of bag thing, so 2 sides of it. You put a small mouse pad inside of it, and then you put that in there, and it comes out. It looks a bit like a hot water bag. You put your hand in the cuffed section, so you've still got free motion for the mouse, but everything is warmed and cocooned, because this room at night is freezing, and my mouse hand gets very cold. So it's a mouse bag. I don't know if I'm going to make one. I love the idea of it. Kelly says, I'm great learning from other people, even when they do things differently. All skills added to the knowledge banks. Absolutely. Molly says, I'm the same way, Chantel. I love seeing or learning things that make sense. Also, I'm happy to share. See, this is the thing. I think there are communities out there, not ours. Ours does not fall into this. But there are communities out there that gatekeep information from each other, because it means that they're the smarter ones. Oh, yeah, I knew how to do that. Here, sometimes we won't realize we have information that other people don't have. But when we share it, we don't big note ourselves about it. We just go in and, like Molly so freely just was just like, oh, yeah, I just do this. And we were like, wait, what now? And it wasn't like she didn't try, it was like, I've got a way to do it, but I'm not telling you. Or there is a way to do it, but you'll have to work it out for yourself. That wasn't the attitude at all. And I love that about us. Fingerless gloves, Noble. A, I've got very short fingers. And B, my fingers get cold. So I want something that my whole hand can go into, as well as the mouse, as well as the mouse pad. So I don't know if I'm going to do it at all, but if I'm going to do it, I'll be doing it probably along those lines, because I've done the fingerless glove things. Also, they're quite bunchy in my hand. So my hand itself gets really, like, that bit gets hot while everything else is freezing. So Game Widow says, I also spent a whole heap of time explaining stitch markers, needle toppers, and cozies, and I was asked by one rude woman, why would you need this stuff? And it's just like, well, you're not going to be a customer, are you? So I don't need to explain anything to you. Or you can be like, well, you don't need it, but it is a useful tool. You can get away without it, but you can save time and have pretty things. Why do you not want pretty things in your life? Are you an ogre? Even ogres have pretty things in their lives. Their definition of pretty is just different sometimes. Okay. Alrighty. Go little cabley thing. It does get a little caught at the start. It just needs a little guidance to go through, but then once it's in, it's fine. Okay. We need flip. Flippity flip. No yarn bridge. That is good. Connect with this yarn here. Josephine's off. See you at Sunday at Beanley. Yes, see you there. Those of you that come along to our Sunday, once a month Sunday meetups at the Club Beanley, we are upstairs, but we are at the tables along the wall leading into our old room that we used to get that they don't give us anymore. So if you do have a battery operated table light or something like that, a crafting lamp or something, bring it along. Bring it along. I've got a couple, so I can bring some to share, but I don't have enough for everybody. It is a bit of a darkened corner. There is lights, but it is mood lighting. Oh yeah, I absolutely need stitch markers. I get annoyed with people who are, well, this is how you do it, or reading your knitting. Oh, I know. I know. You're just like, you know what? I can read my knitting. I can also tink back and fix my stitches in lace. I can do all this stuff. But why would I make it even harder for myself by not having the stitch marker that helps me to remember to do this quickly and easily? Hey, Nikki, good to see you. So yeah, I don't understand the mentality of people who make their life harder for themselves intentionally when there is a either free, cheap, or inexpensive tool that could just solve their pain point. Like, sure, you can go out and spend good money on buy expensive stitch markers, but you can also use scraps of yarn or little clips that you've got or paper clips or whatever. There's so many options if you don't want to spend any money, that the stitch markers just help you. They're just a great tool. Notion. Are stitch markers tools or notions? I mean, I think they're technically classed as a notion, right? But I think they're a good tool. And I think they should be upgraded to tool status. I bought a ticket and a price home yesterday. And why? Because the house is shaped in the letter of H for hills. It's like a big barndominium with a thing in the middle. And also, it's drawn on my birthday. So send out some good juju for that. That would be really nice. It's also literally walking distance from Mulaney cheese. That could be quite dangerous, actually. But aside from the dangers of being walking distance Mulaney cheese, it's a really nice spot. Kelly says anything that reduces mental load. Let me just grab this mouse so I can pop this on screen and make the writing bigger for me. Anything that reduces mental load is good in my opinion. Hey, if others don't need that, great. I'm not there. Too many things going on in my head. Agreed. Absolutely. Game Widow says, in happier news, spent lots of time being nosy and insisting on people doing show and tell on their makes and purchases. Absolutely. Claire says, still loving your videos. Thanks, Claire. Oh, it's a member chat. I didn't see that it was a member chat over here on this side. It's absolutely a member chat for 57 months. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Claire. I wish I had a fun fanfare noise. I don't. I can make a pretty thing. I can make a pretty paddle. There we go. Boom. But no fun noises. I need to set some noises up. I'd have some of my tea. It's just easier to drink than the coffee. Is it still hot? Let's see. It's still hot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, still really hot. Very nice hot. Mm. My brain's like, I need a break from the knitting. And I'm like, I don't want a break from the knitting. I want to keep knitting the sleeves. Okay. Okay, we've finished that side. So now we need to come flip and do this side. There's the yarn. Are you the yarn for this? No, you're the yarn for something else. You go over there. This is the yarn. Where is the ball? I used the term ball lightly. The last vestiges of scrap here. Before I'm like really hoping I can get to the end of the sleeves without having to join new yarn. But, you know, I may not. There's not a lot here. There's not a lot here, and I still want to do a few rows. Amelia says here, thank you, Molly, for the 2 great tips this week to help me with knitting. Molly's out there helping everyone. It's awesome. Thank you so much, Molly. Kelly says, remember to thumbs up if you're enjoying this video or this live stream, and consider becoming a member. For the cost of a coffee per month, you can help support. Oh, I love that message. I know that it happens, but I still love it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to do our decrease here. Oh, wait, hang on. It's going in an extra. It's not going to matter. It's fine. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter because it all travels. And I think the last few rows I've done it that way, so that's fine. What's happening here with this yarn? We've got some snaggy snags coming. I think the other end of the ball is unraveling. Have any of you been to Mullaney Cheese? Just out of curiosity. When I used to go to Queensland Spinners, it was our stop that we would do to have lunch. So I know that a lot of you go to Lovett's at Cowbar on your way up to the mountain retreat up. It was sort of like that for us. And we would stop at Mullaney Cheese and have cheese and watch them make the cheese or make yogurt or something. Santel says, I'm winning too. I have installed a media folder sorter plugin, so I'm sorting files into folders and have reduced some of the files I was using from 600 down to 30. That is fantastic news. I'm so glad you're winning. I am so glad you're winning because I know this is a massive undertaking. You've got a pile of photos. That's so good. Molly says, I use stitch markers as reminders and also if I have a complicated repeat. Yeah, I very much use them. I very much use them for reminders and in between repeats and lace work. But I do have that 4 and 4 and 4 blanket that I'm working on where I just kept stuffing it up. And so I just needed the stitch marker to remind me that this is changing to knits and things like that. Leonie says cheese is my birthstone. That's so funny. Amelia's got a great question here. What is your most recent tip that you loved? I've discovered scanning a PDF and saving it I've discovered scanning a pattern and saving it as a PDF and then save it to Knit Companion. This is going to save me with my printed patterns. Absolutely. That's a great way to do it. Like, so if you buy the paperback book or you've already printed the PDF or whatever, you can scan it, probably even sometimes using an app on your phone, but you can scan it in and then save that as a PDF and then use it as a local file in your favorite way. It doesn't even have to be Nick Companion. It can be any kind of PDF reader that you use for your patterns. That's a super cool tip. Do I have any recent things that I just learned about this really cool way to use one cable but still be able to split it for trying things on. If you're just catching the stream now, Molly has showed us how to do that in today's stream. So it's what I'm using right now. And I'm just so excited by it. I just think it's so cool. Molly says, I've been there. I used to live near Beerwah for 20 years before moving to Adelaide. Oh, there you go. Kelly says, I love Mullaney cheese. On Sundays, they sell baguettes that you can have with the cheese. Well, they used to. Selling bread at the same location just makes sense. Yeah, so Mullaney cheese, we used to go in there for lunch and you could get all sorts of stuff. I would be quite limited because I cannot have brie or camembert. So a lot of their pre-made lunch stuff all included brie and camembert. So I quite often would have, so once a year, I would have the raclette, which was a kind of thinly sliced potato thing with some cheese melted on the top, and that was all grilled and amazing and just gooey and just potato and cheese, and it was amazing. Nikki says, cheese is great. I've been thinking I need to visit Aussie soon again. But doesn't New Zealand have like some of the most amazing, I mean, look, I'm going to be honest, I don't like New Zealand yogurt, okay? I just don't. But their milk and their ice cream are fantastic. Do they not have a cheese industry as well? Yeah, I would assume, like, with having such high quality dairy, that you guys would have some amazing cheese. I mean, I'm not saying I've tried every yogurt in New Zealand, but the few that I tried, I was just like, this is not my jam. This is not my jam. Well, it's not, and it's also not the yogurt I like. But the milk, I was like so tempted to try and work out how to order it in Australia. Because I know you can. I know you can. What was it? I think was it Anchor? It was like, it just your basic level milk. It wasn't anything fancy. So and Tell says that cheese is my spirit animal. Yeah. I love that there's so many choices with cheese. We all find something that we like, except for the lactose intolerant amongst us. But there's some cheeses that even lactose intolerant people can have, right? Because of the process that it changes the lactase. I don't know. Kelly says, I like having a notebook beside me when crafting. I write my notes while making changes and then transfer them to Ravelry later. I have an iPad, but some patterns don't have a lot of space for extra notes. Look, I'm a pad and paper girl. Like right next to me now, I have 2 pads and a couple of pens. I've got like some options for pens. I've got pencils. I've got another pen, like I'm a pad and paper girl. I'm old, okay? I like to be able to scratch out the notes and then type them out. Knitspin Girl says, one of the commentators of Tour de France was all about Fromage Friday. It's now evolved to every day is Fromage Friday. Because didn't they used to have like, it's been a bit since I've watched it, okay? But the last time I watched Tour de France, they had Gabrielle Gatteau going around different places in France, showing the food and the amazing stuff in some of the little towns along the route. Do they still do that? Bianca says that she actually converts the PDFs of patterns to Google Docs so that she can make notes and highlight the row she's on regardless of what device I'm using. Game Winner says, now I want cheese. Opens a delivery app. Sorry, Emma. Do I sound it? It's because I'm not. Hang on. Did I do the increase here? I did it there. And I did it there. Okay, good. All right, that decrease, not increased. All righty. Now we got to flip. Flip. It's just easier if I flip with the yarn in my hand. Okay, let's spread you out a bit. There we go. So that travels to... See, I'm learning all the secrets here. I'm learning to hold the yarn when I'm flipping. Spread this out a bit before I try to pull this guy through. Like, I'm getting there. We're going to get it. It's going to happen. And I've done more rows today than I've done in like the last couple of weeks on this. Like just to put this in perspective. Amelia says, can scan into notes on iPad. Yeah, I think for me, I like having the paper to scratch on. Like, yes, I've got Notability. I've got Knit Companion. I've got my iPad. I've got a pen for my iPad. I've got a keyboard for my iPad. So, but I still just prefer pen and paper. I don't know what it is. I really just prefer scratching it out. Amelia says, can scan notes into the iPad. I just read that one. So, Taste Latour became Plat de Tour with a different chef. This year, there's no food. Wait, what? That's dumb. They're just focusing on the cycling. That's so boring. Tour de France focusing solely on the cycling instead of the amazing produce and food that is made in France. Dummies. Like, what do they think we're watching for? We're not watching for the bike race. We're watching for the beautiful scenery and the overhead shots and the amazing artistry that the farmers who are along the fields, along the edges of the racetrack do, and silly race gets in the way of all the good stuff. They keep cutting to the people and the bikes fall. I don't mind when the bikes fall over. This sounds awful, doesn't it? It's more just like, I just often wonder, like, they have these massive pile-ups and then everyone just unpiles and just gets back on their bikes and rides. It's like, I don't like it when people actually get truly injured. Like, let's clarify that. But when it's just a bit of a stacky stack, you're just like, you just got up and just keep going. You're just like, boom, let's go. I fell down, I got back up again, let's go. It's kind of like when my knee dislocates. I fell down, I get back up again. Like, it just happens sometimes. It's just life. Yeah. I think we need to start decreasing just a little bit more frequently. There. Boom. Yeah. Admittedly, like the sleeves being pushed out, like it's not really like it's being pushed further apart because of this. Let me just read here. Now that stupid song's stuck in my head. Molly says, "Oh my god, I wish you could do a proper French raclette. So amazing. They put a half a hill of cheese on a stand with a really hot heater attached. You scrape off the cheese as it melts." Oh yeah, that's not how they did the raclette up at the other place. It was like yeah. Actually, I don't know because it just appeared on your plate with all the melted cheese on your potatoes. But yeah. They have an array of meats and veggies and breads to smother with the melted cheese. See, I want a proper raclette now. What kind of cheese do they use? That's the catch. That's what I'm limited by. What kind of cheese do they use? I can't have anything with white mold or blue mold. I can't have either of those. Kelly says we have a couple of places that do raclette. It's so yummy. Oh my gosh. It sounds amazing. It really does. I should probably have some actual water though. If we're hydrating, we should probably. Alrighty. Just checking. I just actually have a little look at where the decreases are. To just sort of double check. So if I lose count of like, I don't put a mark down on my page or something. So let me just do a little measure. Do I have a tape measure? Yes, I do. All right, let's have a quick look. Just to get a roughy idea. From the underarm to here is about 20 centimeters. There. Okay, so I'm approximately elbow length, roughly. It's a hard cheese. Yeah, I'm good with a hard cheese. And this spin girl says, I think I know what I'm having for lunch now. Cheese! Good bread, good ham, melted cheese. What's not to love? I know. I'm like, what have I got for lunch today? It's not cheese, but I think it's going to change and become cheese. I've got some beautiful sourdough pumpkin seed bread, and I've got some lovely deli meats in the fridge, and I've got some pretty basic cheese, but it's cheese. Or I can have like a U Foods, which I think my options are. I can't remember what I've got 2 left. I can't remember what they are. They don't sound like, for me, I'm like, man, I'm just gonna make a really good toasty. I'm gonna make a really good toasty. That's what I'm gonna have for lunch today. That's it. That's what I'm doing. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm making a ham, cheese, and cherry tomato toasty, possibly with a little bit of mustard on it. I'll have to have a look and see if I've got any mustard left, but that's what I'm doing. And a toasty is a toasted sandwich in the toasted sandwich press, or you can do it in a fry pan if you want to do it in a fry pan. But you've got to heat both sides of the bread, make them crunchy. You can use a jaffle iron if you want. I just find the jaffle iron makes the sourdough a bit too hard. A cheese toasty sounds good, yeah. Bread Hook says the last time my knee gave out, I broke my leg. My knee goes out pretty regularly. The only thing that holds my kneecap in place is the large muscles, and when my legs get tired, then there's nothing holding my kneecap in place because it gets, it has a moment. It has a moment. And I really do want to have like either a banh mi or a combination noodle bowl for lunch sometime this week because I haven't had one for a bit. However, I'm going out for lunch on Sunday, and then I feel guilty if I have lunch by myself without my family 2 days in 1 week. Molly, that would be amazing if you could share those photos. That would be so cool. I now that you've mentioned it, I've seen videos of it happening like in restaurants and stuff, but I would love to see what yours was like. It just sounds so good. See, I'm hungry now. It's lunchtime though, right? Well, it's lunchtime for me. It's like nearly lunchtime. So it's okay. It's okay that I'm getting hungry. Should we do a try on and test out Molly's theory with the undoing the plug thing and just trying it on? I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. I just need to get to the end of the sleeve. I think I am. I want to try it on. I don't trust the measurements. For some reason, I thought I was already past my elbow, but that measurement says no. Well, it says only just passing it now, and that just feels weird because I thought I was past it already before we even started any tonight. Molly says I just had a total knee replacement, and next month we'll have a total hip replacement. Oh my gosh. I've been told a knee replacement will probably last me 10 to 15 years. But unfortunately, I will only get one as the condition of the bone in my in that area is bad due to arthritis. So I will only be able to have one. So they want me to hold off as long as possible, which I've been holding off now for 10 years. I would like to stop holding off now. What am I doing here? So that needs to come through this side. I see. Okay, bear with. Alrighty, so we've got cable on that side, and then we just need to undo this, and they're separated. You gotta keep them separated. All right. I need to. We'll go to the big camera. Boom, boom, boom. Hello, big camera. Okay, let's try this on. I'm just watching the sleeves. That one's little. There we go. Do I have any? Hang on a second. So what I've done is I've just thrown on end stoppers, just to stop the This side's got a bigger cable, so it should be okay. It's this side that's the issue. It's got a much smaller cable. Donkey there. Donkey and a coffee. All right. I've not tried this on with a long sleeve shirt on before. Like, do I just run and grab a t-shirt? Maybe I do. Actually, I probably do. Bear with me for just 1 second. I've got a t-shirt. Oh, whoops. Got caught up in the yarn. I dragged half of it out of the room with me. Pulled the knitting onto the floor. Let me just double check I haven't done any damage first. I have a t-shirt. It's a bit crunchy. Isn't the folding? Okay, let's have a look here. That's the front. All the needles and everything are all still on. Yep, all right. It's very bright pink. Yeah, I've still got a fair ways to go. But like the measurement I did showed I was just on there. So I'm glad I tried it on because I'm a bit further down. But that's fitting nicely. What do you think? Shirt under it's probably not the best colour to go with it. Let me just... There we go. Glasses so I can read your comments. Let's have a look. Molly says, yeah, that was me. For me, I had to wait 15 years and I just had to do it. Yeah, there'll come a point where it's just, I'm not waiting anymore. It's got to happen now. And every now and again, I think I've hit it, and then I'll go through it like a year or two where it'll be good, and then it will be bad again. So, and this is all cotton. This is not wool. This is the Bendigo Solstice cotton, which is a chain neck cotton. So, it'll drop a little, but hopefully not too much. But yeah, it's very pink. Very pink indeed. And I could probably just leave it, but I do want it to be a longer sleeve, and I do have plenty of yarn. I'm like, oh, I want to just use this. No, I've got another 6 balls at least. I think there's actually another 8 balls of this yarn. I've used very little, really. Let me just think. Yeah, there's an entire 4-pack sitting right there. And then I've still got like this one here, and there's still bits here. So, yeah. You posted a picture of the throw I'm working on in Facebook. All right, I'll have to have a look. It's a great fit, beautiful. Oh, it feels so nice. It's not too tight anywhere. Oh, hang on, I'm caught here. Hang on, little needles. Yeah, that's the only real concern is, oh, there's needles attached. Also, I haven't finished weaving in all the ends inside, which I also need to do that. But it just sits really nicely. It's not too tight. There's lots of ease. I like good ease. What's my hips thing look like? Let me just have a little squeeze. So let me just, it needs blocking, but the hips is good as well. There's plenty of room. There's no issues there. It definitely needs blocking and washing just to balance out some of these stitches. But yeah, no, I'm really super happy with how it's coming out. So I saw a thumbnail for someone's video, and it was just like, is the ranunculus a waste of yarn? And the thing for me is, if you don't make adjustments for yourself, possibly, it's a very, very boxy jumper. And it's designed to be that way. It's meant to be quite large, oversized, and boxy. I personally don't enjoy wearing tops that shape. So I've readjusted it to suit the shape I wanted it to fit me. And that's one of the things I love about it, is that you can do that, and relatively easily. So one of the big changes I have to make is due to my arms. And then I've got like a narrow torso, but then wide arms. So we've discussed, I know, some of you are probably sick of hearing me say this, but excuse me, when they design most raglans, it's like a half at the front, like in number of stitches. So half of the stitches are for the front, half of the stitches are for the back, a quarter is for a sleeve, and a quarter is for another sleeve. And that works for a lot of people. And so if that works for you, don't change it. But for me, it doesn't work. So I need to divide my body more into thirds than quarters, if that makes any sense. So I have, what am I saying? Not a half for the front and a half for the back. No, it's a quarter front, a quarter back, and a quarter for each of the sleeves. That's how it usually works. For me, I need to divide it more into, is it the other way around? My brain is totally giving up on me. So basically, I need to divide mine more into, okay, so it's normally thirds. So a third at the front, a third at the back, and then divide the last third into both the sleeves. For me, I need to divide into quarters. So I have a quarter of at the front, a quarter at the back, a quarter on each sleeve, because the width of my sleeves is very similar to the width of my torso, which is or the width of, like the width across, not the circumference. And so that's what it is. Usually they're divided into 3/3, with the sleeves being half a third each. So like, 3/6 each for the sleeves. Whereas for me, I needed to divide it into quarters and do it the other way around. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Bianca's like, yeah, it's a quarter is for me. That's right. I got it the wrong way around, because now it's my new normal, and I've been making a lot of adjustments around garments. This particular garment with the raglan top makes it so simple, so easy. You're just working it and working it and working it until it's time to split for the sleeves. Divide it into quarters. Double check that the math is going to work out with your gauge swatch. Make sure you're going to get the right number of centimeters, which is usually fine. And then you can add in whatever you need to add in, and then go from there. But it's really good for me in that regard. And which also then means, because I'm putting more of the sleeves, more stitches into the sleeves, it gives me a bit more body shaping. And that also helps. So yeah. But if you want to do the ranunculus as an oversized boxy top, which is still very relevant, then you can totally do that as well. I just would say that when it comes to any kind of top-down sweaters or cardigans or what have you, the really important thing to remember, and I didn't learn this till fairly recently, so in the last couple of years, was how important it is to make, like, if like for me, I know I have bigger arms and no designer allows for sort of my arm size, right? So historically, I always just add extra, I've got to just add extra stitches under the arms when I'm doing the arms. And that's what I thought was correct. But that wasn't the whole story. Like, yeah, sure, I needed to add an extra couple of stitches underarm. But what I really needed to be doing was making sure that from the top, I was adding in the extra stitches so that the top half of the arm, or this sort of section of the arm, it's got more stitches, not just under here, because when you add them under your arm, it doesn't just give you more stitches in your arm, it also gives you more stitches in your body. Now, if you need both, that's cool, but I didn't need both. So I was getting these sort of weirdly puffy extra bits in the sides, and the arms were still too small, and I was just never happy with what I was making. And then I sat down with, I think it was Bianca. We did some measure-do's at IKEA one night, and we really, I was looking at stitch gauges and stuff, and it's when we really, really hammered it home to my stupid brain that I needed to be working out my top-down sweaters differently. So instead of dividing into thirds, I need to divide into quarters. And so that I've got a little less stitches in these areas and a little more stitches in these areas than the standard pattern allows. And since I did that, so it's been a big combination between when I did my sewing course, like the sewing patterns for your own body class that I did, and the instructor Lindsay there really hammered it home that we are not cylinders. Designs always say go from your bust size, but we're not a cylinder. Okay, so we might need more space. If we've got a bigger bust size, we might need more space at the front than at the back. It's not even. It's not a circle. It could be like a little dip at the back and then this massive circle at the front, or vice versa. And the same for your hips. It's not a circle. It could be a fat tummy and narrow hips, or it could be a flat tummy and wide hips. And the shaping needs to be different depending on what it is. And so once we understand our body sizes and our body shapes and where we need those stitches more, because if you've got broader hips and a flat tummy, you don't need more fabric at the front. You need more on the sides. And sure, if you have a bit extra at the front and a bit extra at the back, it could balance out a little bit. But if you actually consciously make sure you've got the stitches on the sides, you can have a really clean, flat front without having the pull it out on the sides thing. You just need to be able to understand your body size and your body shape to be able to make the garments for yourself. And it's just not as simple as some people make it out to be. Kelly says here, I love that there is so much more available and how to adjust for your size. I agree. I 100% agree. A lot of sort of pushback has been around if we show people how to adjust things for their sizes, they out, you know, like some of the rhetoric, I'm not kidding, it's like we take away body shaming. So, you know, they are where people are like glorifying being overweight. That's what it is. The glorifying the unhealthy lifestyle. And I see it in every time there's somebody who's showing the fashion for plus size people where they can actually wear clothes that aren't, you know, burlap sacks. There's always somebody in there like, whoa, we're glorifying unhealthy lifestyles. And it's just like, you know what? It doesn't matter how you got fat. You actually still need clothes. You really do. You still need clothes. And why are we making it so hard to find ways to judge people for wanting to cover themselves in fabric? Whether it's fabric we're hand stitching, stitch by stitch, whether it's knitting or crocheting, or whether it's fabric that we're sewing that's been woven. Why are we making it so difficult for people to cover themselves with fabric? Because like the reality is, I do look at this from my own perspective, which is a plus size woman. But as Bianca's saying here, Bianca is not a plus size person, but she has problems getting the garments to fit because of her body, you know, because of the shoulder width. She's saying here, she has the same with the shoulder width, the lack thereof. Having stuff slip off your shoulders when it's not what you want is a pain. And it's so true. It's not just about making clothes bigger. It's about making clothes fit. And it's, you know, like with so much fast fashion and so much of our fashion being made so poorly that it doesn't last anymore, that they honestly expect you to ditch it in a year because it's not going to be able to get laundered much longer than that, because it's going to fall apart because it's so poorly made from such poor quality fabrics that those of us that want to make our own stuff that's going to last for years and years and years and years, hopefully, with the amount of time it takes to make it, you really hope it lasts that long. Why is it so like such an issue for those of us that want to do this and customize what we're hand making? So I get frustrated. Bianca's written, oh my God, that makes me want to swear. Yeah, me too. Me too. The whole attitude behind plus size people needing clothes is somehow glorifying unhealthy lifestyles. Like doctors jump in and go, don't be ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. But this is what the general person thinks. They instantly assume that overweight people are unhealthy and lazy. And you're just like, really? Okay, cool. Whatever. Let's pip my blood sugar against your blood sugar, shall we? Because I can tell you, some doctors think the same thing. Every time I go to a new doctor, the first thing they want to do is check my blood pressure, check my cholesterol, check my blood sugars, because they want to be able to come back at you with a gotcha. And then you get all the results and then you never hear anything again. And then when you log in, it's because everything's in perfectly normal ranges. And you're just like, okay, I didn't feel weird, so I'm sure it was fine. Oh, that's right. Bianca's also tall. Oh my gosh. The height thing is such an issue. Apparently every overweight woman is 17 feet tall. I don't know why. Every pair of pants, I literally have to cut off like 2 feet of fabric, you know, and you're just like, this is, which entirely changes the shape of the pants. And it would be exactly the same for Bianca. Like she can't even just adjust it down because she's tall. She needs that fabric to be there. So when we were making our track pants, and there was that shaping for around the knee area, I realized I'd put my knee area more in my calf and had to actually take back a whole pile of fabric, move my knee area up and go from there. It's it's just one of these things. Fast fashion isn't made to last even a season. Absolutely. Like, we buy t-shirts, or I buy t-shirts because I'm a big t-shirt wearer. I love t-shirts. Buy t-shirts, and then within, say, 2 or 3 washes, they're all stretched out of shape. And a big part of that is because the fast fashion, in these sweatshops that are making these inexpensive clothes, because I don't spend $50 on a t-shirt. I'm going to be really honest here. These t-shirts are being stretched out of shape because the fabric's not being cut on the correct bias. They're just trying to fit as many fabric pieces onto it as they can without double checking the stretch bias of where your fabric is, which is where Sew and Tell comes in, because she has a stretch sewing pattern for t-shirts, specifying exactly how to work all that out to make sure that your shirt's not going to get all twisted out of place and just anyway. I'm loving that there's people out here teaching us how to sew, how to make our own clothes, how to read the fabric, how to choose the fabrics that will last as best as possible. And that there's those of us out here teaching people how to knit and to crochet so that we can be making our jumpers and cardigans and our warmer things made out of wool. This is made out of cotton. I'm so chuffed with this. And just, oh yeah, it's just one of these things where historically everyone is a different shape. It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. People used to make all their own clothes because they could make them to measure, or they made them in such a way that they're fully adjustable. So I've seen these fantastic patterns out that are fully adjustable skirts, so that as you lose or gain weight, or you have swelling or you don't swell, and they're being based off some really like 1800 style patterns, because that's how all of the clothes were made back in the day. So yeah. So wrong. Most people have issues with clothes. I know someone thin and tall, custom pants for her. Yeah, this is the thing. I don't know who the clothes are being made for. I actually don't know of a single person that can buy the perfect fit clothes off a rack. Everyone's make and do with what's coming off the rack, because these clothes are not being paid for humans, made for humans. They're just not, they're being made for the idea of a bipedal person. There's not enough room in the butts for some people. There's too much room in the butts for some people. There's not enough room in the fronts for some people. There's too much room in the front. There's not enough length. There's too much length. You know, like, this is where being able to make our own things is so helpful. Now, I haven't really gotten into making pants much yet, because the very first pair of pants I made many years ago, they died while I was wearing them. Quite embarrassing, let me tell you. So I haven't made much in the way of pants, but I've made some skirts which have been fairly successful. And I want to make some more skirts, and seeing these ones that I can adjust for like the days where my endo is bad, and the days where it's fine, and swelling up, swelling down, being able to readjust everything just to fit nicely with just some easy ties. Like, I want to get into that. And then being able to pair that with like a really beautiful custom made top. I never thought, like, if you asked me 20 years ago, would you consider building yourself out a custom wardrobe? I would never have said yes. I would be like, no, that's for weirdos. Now I'm just like, I think we all need to be building out our own custom wardrobes, at least a few outfits where we are so 100% comfortable, but they don't look like pajamas. That's the catch, because I have plenty of comfy pajamas. I'm talking about clothing that's so comfortable that you can wear it out of the house, and that there's not something that you're pulling on, or, you know, trying to, for me, it's always the sleeves, pulling on the sleeves constantly. Because for me to get a t-shirt that fits my arms, I've got to buy one size, but everywhere else is billowing. So I try to, like, because it's 2 sizes different. So I try to go that in-between size where it's just a little bit big on my body, but then it's also not quite as tight on my arms, but it's not loose enough. So Knitspin Girl says, I grew up thinking I must be a weird body shape because clothing that looked great on everybody else looked weird on me. Yeah, you don't have a weird body shape. Clothing is weird. Human bodies are not the same. You could line up 10 size 10 women and they will have differences. And the same outfit, unless it's stretchy fabric, is going to struggle. Bianca says, I often buy men's joggers and pajamas because they all fit me quite well. Women's are nearly always too short. Yeah. Yep. Look, I buy women's and they're way too long. Always. I have to adjust everything up. Which reminds me, I've got a fixed pair of Abby's jeans. Not that they need taking up, but they were too fashionable for her, and she wants to remove part of the ultra fashion part and just turn it into a normal everyday cuff. So I got to do that for her. I've ranted like a crazy person a lot of today. Thanks for putting up with it. Thanks for hanging out. But it's time to go, and I want to go and have some lunch. I got a toasted sandwich to make. I got a toasty. I got to dig out the flat iron. I got to dig out the ingredients and cut some stuff up. I'm going to head off, but I would love for you to share any of your custom or handmade garments that you have either in the Fiberific Facebook group, so the Fiberific Fun Zone, or over in the Fiberific Discord. I definitely want to check them out. And and especially if you've got some sewing stuff as well. So not just knit and crochet. I'm opening this up to anybody who has custom made any clothing at all, anyhow, not just for knit and crocheters. So if you're this person, then please go and add that in, because I need to see some more options. Because I don't want knit skirts, and I don't want knit pants. I've got my knit trackies, which I love, and I'll probably make another pair of those, but I need things I can just wear to the shops, stuff like that. So yeah, please throw all those things in there. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome week. I'll see those of you that I see on Sunday. I'll see you Sunday. Those of you that I don't, I'll see you back here next Thursday. Bye now, everyone. Have a great week.